so far, and has anybody jumped out at you?
Yeah, it's been a really good camp so far. I think the message has been really good to our prospects. There's been a will greater than skill theme this week, and there's been a lot of skill out there. So it's been fun to see these guys take that message into the skill days. And today we had a little bit more of a competitive day. So there's a lot of excitement right now within the group.
Did you get the sense that the guys were ready to get going with the battle drills and things like that, and more hockey-based stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I think those first couple days of strictly skating, I think it's really good to challenge the guys. And so today, when it was more strictly hockey stuff, there was a lot of jump out there.
Chris Phillips, he's a guy that played his best hockey down the stretch at Winnipeg. When you look at his development, maybe from where he was the fall to maybe where it is now, where do you see the most improvement in his game?
I think the strength, he put on a solid 10 pounds last year. Quinnipiac did a great job. I think he respects both ends of the ice, and you can see that out there. He's taking pucks to hard areas, and he values his defending, and that's certainly pieces of his game that we value.
One of the guys new to the system is Will Zelmers. What have you noticed about him so far?
A lot of energy. He brings a lot of energy to the locker room, to the ice. He loves being on the rink. He loves talking hockey. He eats and breathes it. So you can tell with the skill set that he has. But he's been so fun to work with so far.
Where does he need to? What does he need to work on?
I think he can get stronger, certainly, in order to be able to play an offensive game at the NHL level. That's going to come, though. He's going to a great school in North Dakota. They do a great job. So I think that's one piece, but he's already shown that he's capable of doing that.
Lots been said about James Hagens and his skill set, but is there anything that maybe has surprised you about his game, his approach on and off the ice over the last couple of days?
Yeah, he's been business. I think the first day, the quote of him needing to have his leg cut off or he wasn't going out there. So that right there shows the commitment level that he has. He was certainly willing to engage a lot physically today too, which I love to see from the amount of skill that he has as well.
What have you thought of Elliot Greenwald, second depth camp, just on defense? What have you thought of him so far in camp?
He's been great. He relies heavily on his skating, and he's super low maintenance kid. He's watching him this year. He blocks shots. There's no phase there. He goes out and he does his business, and I think that's what excites us most about him.
I don't know if this is necessarily your job in terms of managing expectations, but when you do have a Hagens or someone who's drafted in the first round, and they're like, I want to make the NHL, I want to make the NHL, like that's what they're looking at. Is there an element of, showing them how difficult it actually will be to do that or managing expectations about what they're getting out of it?
Yeah, I think that's going to be an exciting topic moving forward within our entire staff. But I think it is a staff-wide discussion about where we're going to be at with James, especially after this week.
I know that, when I ask this, the obvious answer is as much as possible. But when I ask, how much growth do you want to see from players from their first depth camp into their second? What are key things in terms of maturity, in terms of skill that you want to see them, progressions you want to make in between those 2 points?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of expectations. I think that they have an understanding of what to expect when they come to their second development camp, whether it be the off-ice testing, what we're looking for on ice. So I think them just feeling a lot more comfortable. You want to see some growth in the physicality portion of where they're at. They're getting drafted at 17, 18 years old. So to see some type of growth physically is always important.
You're a former college hockey guy. I'm curious, this is sort of non-Bruins, but with the CHL ruling and everything that entails, how do you see that impacting not just college hockey, but college hockey recruiting as well?
Oof, that's a great question. It's certainly going to change the hockey landscape, no doubt. I think being able to see some of these CHL kids that you might expect, they're done at their 20 because they can't go to the college level. Those guys now being able to enter college and play another 4 years, I think is going to be important for the college free agent scene and maybe drafting and where you can maybe place some of the prospects that you get in the CHL.
You guys have a number of BC guys on the roster. I don't know if it's like a proximity thing and you guys are able to watch them more and kind of scout in that regard, or is there just something different about guys coming from that program that makes them, NHL level players?
I think there's a combination of both. This year, it seemed like it happened to be guys that were on our list, and where they fell on our draft list, our amateur guys did a really good job, and it was pretty funny. Like, we're shaking our heads a little bit, like another guy going to BC, but I mean, Will Moore, for example, he's a really good player, and he happens to be going there. So we're super excited to have them in our backyard and to be able to see them and monitor them so closely.
Will's really nice to see him take a lot of steps from this point last year, going from playing with Sweden juniors, now he's going to be with Providence this year. What have you noticed about his game in his second development camp?
I think there's been a lot of strength to where Loki's come from. I think being in Moncton this year was really good for him. He learned a lot about the North American style of play and the smaller ice sheet, so it's going to be an exciting path for him moving forward.
Do you notice differences in players who come from, say, the Q versus like the USHL? Like, I know obviously the leagues are a little bit different, but is there anything you've noticed development-wise that are a bit different between those two leagues?
I think it varies a little bit. There's a different playing style for sure, but I think in particular, league to league, it always depends. USHL, they did have the opportunity to go college. Now we have some Q guys coming up that can certainly take that same college route, so that's exciting.